What up, word? Is your boy JusRzd, and today we're reviewing the brand new episode of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. I believe the episode is titled Shadows Gone. Shout out to a real one. Shout out to a real one. Shout out to Shunsui. Shout out to Nanao and Lily Bottle. But this particular episode picks up right where their fight ended. So we have Shunsui pretty much laying in the arms of his Bankai spirit. And before we get back to the present day, we actually start with a flashback of Shunsui talking to a young lady talking to Shunsui and his older brother. And Shinsui's laying there just observing the two talk, and turns out it's she's wearing the same kimono that he currently rocks. And turns out that this young lady is his brother's wife, who's actually a descendant from one of the legendary houses in the Soul Society, the Issei clan. And also, as we come to find out through the backstories of Shunsui through this episode, that lady is actually Nanao's mother. And the Issei clan has a legendary Zanpakuto and a legendary blade that is very ritualistic in a sense. It's not a typical Zanpakuto or blade where you can cut somebody down with it. It's like more of a special and unique blade that's given to members of the Issei household. And the Issei clan was thought to be cursed because every male who married into the Issei clan ended up dying super young. And unfortunately, that same fate befalls Shunsui's brother. And we find out through the backstory of Shunsui that Nanao's mother, I believe her name was Ohana, but Nanao's mother pretty much tried to escape the curse of the Issei clan and tried to marry a different legendary house's family member just to try to get away. Unfortunately, that same thing befell him as well. And she had an unborn child that she didn't want to be affected by the curse, which was Nanao. And so she felt like it was the Zanpakuto that was causing the curse in her family. And so what she did was actually give the sword to Shunsui and ask him to just pretty much take it away. Like, I don't want her to be affected by this. I don't want her to go through what I went through experiencing this. So just kind of take it away, hide it, do what you need to do. At this particular point, Shunsui had joined the Soul Society, the 13 Core Guard Squads. And then as Nanao got older, of course, she trained to join the 13 Core Guard Squads as well. Was able to get in there, but she couldn't wield the Zanpakuto because the Zanpakuto that she would have gotten from the Issei clan was, of course, in the hands of Shunsui. So she was never able to like truly wield a Zanpakuto. And but she was skilled in Kido. So with her being skilled in Kido, she still thought she would at least be able to join the Kido Corps. And to her surprise, she actually got placed in Squad 8, which was Shunsui's squad that he was the captain of. And that pretty much started their relationship, as far as like him looking out for her and just always kind of keeping her under his wing, and just kind of started a beautiful relationship that they do have, seeing as how he really loved and appreciated her mother. Because her mother was married to his brother at one point before his brother passed, and he just really appreciated her mother and honored her by wearing her kimono and her hairpins. And you just see the flashback, it shifted from Shunsui's flashback to Nanao's flashback, just her noticing who Shunsui was as a little kid, and then growing up and going into the 13 Core Guard Squads, and just really understanding who who he was and why he seemed so familiar, and just the points making sense in her mind once she realized who he was. And it was just it was dope, man, to see that history between them two, to see that relationship. So we come back to the present. He's laying in the arms of his Bankai spirit, and immediately a beam of light shoots through his chest, or his gut, really. And we see Lille headless, transforming into a new form while talking junk. And Shinsui's just like, man, I can't even kill him, and I cut his head off. Like, what's going on here? And we see him transform into this owl-like creature, and he's talking crazy cash trash. And Shunsui, still suffering from the hole in his chest, the hole in his gut is like barely hanging on at this particular point. And we see Lille use one of his attacks, and Shunsui barely got out the way. But once he got out the way, you see his Bankai start talking to him. He's like, hey man, look, ain't nobody gonna blame you if you run away. Just rest. Just go ahead and take it easy. I'll go ahead and take you somewhere else, because don't worry about it. I'll go hide you. I'll make sure you get out of here. But ain't nobody gonna blame you if you run away, because you outmatched at this point. You're too severely injured, and you're pretty much outmatched at this point. And it was sad. I remember reading this in the manga, man. I was locked in, because I was like, yo, they can't do my man's like this. Not like this. But it was just like, bro, not Shunsui, not the Shadow King. It was just like, nah, man, not my guy. And then we see him kind of blacking out, and we see him fading, and we hear somebody telling him to wake up and get up. And then we see Nanao has finally made it back to him, and is shaking him, trying to wake him up and trying to make sure he gets up. And he wakes up, and he's like, oh shoot, you returned. He was like, I told you to run away. She was like, well, you know I'm not going to leave you here stranded. And, and then Lille actually finds out where they are, pops up behind her. He's like, hey, y'all making a lot of noise over here, but who shorty? Oh, his lieutenant came back. You must not understand the preciousness of life. He pretty much gave you an out to get away, and you came back. So hey, you must not understand the preciousness of life. But I'm gonna go ahead and kill both of y'all anyway. And so he tries to shoot both of them with an attack, and they disappear into the shadows. And then we see Shunsui and Nanao having a conversation in the shadows. That was actually pretty cool. You actually see them in the shadows having a conversation, and we see Lille pretty much lost, trying to find them, trying to understand where they're at. See him transforming his head and his eyes to see if he can locate where they are. And Lille's second transformation just looks super weird. It looked super weird in the manga, so I just knew it was gonna look super weird in the anime, and it did. It was just like this a lot going on, and we just see him transforming. We see him trying to look for him, and he was just like, oh, so you're in the shadows. He was like, well, how about he uses his attack, creates like a sun, and he just kind of holds it to pretty much get rid of all the shadows. And with him doing that, there was still a little shadow on his face that Nanao was able to escape through. And we see her jump out with her Zanpakuto, and then it cuts to the conversation that her and Shunsui was having when they were in the shadow realm, or in the shadows, and pretty much her asking him for her Zanpakuto, and he was like, wait a minute, you knew? She was like, give me the Zanpakuto from my mother. I get it. She asked you to hide it. And he was like, wait a minute, you knew the whole time? And she was like, yeah, I knew the whole time. Like, I remembered all these different things. And that's where we get the flashback that was originally Shunsui's, now transferred over to Nanao, to see what she remembered from everything that transpired. And so that was just dope how they strung that together. And he pretty much explains her Zanpakuto to her, and how it's used not necessarily to slash enemies down, but to reflect the power of a god, and how it's labeled kind of like a cursed Zanpakuto. It's not even like a blade. It looks like it low-key looks like it low key looks like a wooden what's some things called that not a mallet. Dang, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, if I think of the name of it, I'm putting it in the video. But it low key looked like one of those things they used to use in hazing rituals and sororities and fraternities, but just like a big wooden version of it. But it had like different mirrors and reflective things on it on the front. It was a dope looking Zanpakuto. It just didn't look like a sword at all. And so when she jumps out of Lilibato's face, of course Shunsui stays in the shadows while she goes out to try to fight him. Lilibato tries to attack her, and she like pretty much deflects the attack, and she ends up hitting his arm with the blade and end up like cutting his arm off. Even it was weird, like his arm disappeared, like a piece of his arm where his hand was disappeared. So it looked like she cut it off, but that sword isn't used to cut people down. So it was just like, what just happened? So then she stands there. She has her sword, and she's sitting there, just kind of facing up with Lilibato, and just low key standing there like a G, just facing her fears and facing the enemy. And then we see Shunsui pop out the shadows and help her grip it, help her grip the sword more securely, and just letting her know, like, I'm here to support you. I'm here with you. Don't fret. Don't worry. I got your back. And we see Lilibato pretty much still talking junk. The whole time he talking junk, and he's just like, all right, well, I'll just kill both of y'all. And he tries to shoot out an attack, and she ends up blocking the attack. The attack he used was like a trumpet that ended up shooting out like a sonic attack that destroyed everything around them except where she had the sword, which was in front of her. She turned it to the side so the reflective material could face out, and it ended up reflecting the attack back at Lilibato and cutting him pretty much in half, or cutting off the left side of his body. And he was like, oh yeah, you did say it could reflect the power of God. And then he just disintegrates into nothingness. And then we see Nanao and Shunsui relieved that the battle is over for them. And we see Shunsui try to turn around and walk away, and he's stumbling because he's still very badly injured. And then we see Nanao kind of run to his aid, and then that pretty much ends the episode. And yeah, man, it was a real heartfelt episode, man. Just seeing Nanao and seeing Shunsui's relationship and how it connected. I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't recognize who the voice of the poem was for next week's episode, so I'm not sure who next week's episode is going to be about. I don't know if we're going to go back to Basby and Hashwalt and see if they fight, or that would be dope. That would make the most sense, to be honest. Not gonna hold you. But I didn't recognize the voice of the poem, so I don't know where we're gonna go next week. But I'm here for the story. I'm here to see this story played all the way out. And like I said, it was a beautiful episode. Love the emotional connection between him and Nanao. The fact that was his pretty much niece-in-law, if you think about it. Yeah, that's pretty much like his niece-in-law, kinda, maybe. Because technically she was his sister, her mother was his sister-in-law, but I don't think Nanao was her brother's daughter. I think it was her second husband's daughter. And so technically they're not related, but he has you can tell Shunsui has a very fond memory and respect for her mother. And so you can see like that familial relationship and protectiveness that he has for Nanao, that he doesn't want anything bad to happen to her. And so it was just dope to see that explained, to see the Bankai, to see her use her Zanpakuto and finally get it. It was just dope. It was just dope. And it's funny because one of his other Bankai spirit was actually hiding her Zanpakuto in like her body. So that was interesting in and of itself. But she ended up giving it to her, and they were able to defeat Lily Bottle. And so I'm excited for this particular episode. I think I'm gonna give it a 9.5, man. I like how they portrayed that. I like how they showed the backstory, then switched it to Nanao's perspective, so you can see exactly what she remembered and how she made the connections. And it was, I just thought it was a really good job the way they told the story in this episode. Yeah, I thought it was a really good job. Like, had I not already known how that was gonna end, I might have got a little emotional. I ain't gonna hold you. Just with everything that was going on, I appreciate it. But yeah, let me know in the comments below how y'all feel about it. Do you agree with my rating? Do you agree with the 9.5, or do you think I'm tripping? Do you think I went too high? Do you think I went too low? Let me know in the comments below how you felt about the episode, and let me know how you've been feeling about the third core so far for Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. It seemed like every core they're getting better and better, man. And I don't know, by the end of this, or maybe before the fourth core comes out, I might do like a top fight video for the 1000 Year Blood War, just because they've had some brawls on the 1000 Year Blood War, and it's still some fire ones to come. So I'm excited. Can't wait for the fourth core. Can't wait to see what the last 2 episodes are going to be about. I got a feeling it might be Basby and Hoshwaltz, just because they teased it in a previous episode. So who knows? We shall see. Also interested to see how Kubo's gonna deal with Uryu's storyline. So I'm interested to see that as well. But let me know in the comments below how y'all feel about it. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified anytime we drop a new video on the channel, which is every day. We're trying to build a community here, guys. And some of you guys might have gotten this video suggested to you on your timeline from YouTube, but it might not be subscribed. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so that way you can be notified. And never forget, it's FreeSoul to the show free. Let's get it.